Breaking news! The Detroit Lions have started the week off on a high note, and I must admit that this has me very anxious. In the last few weeks, we have received news of an unexpected signing. We also have some other breaking news that may not seem like the biggest headlines at first, but trust me, it is worth your attention, especially if you are keeping an eye on the kicking game this season. Before we continue, make sure you have hit the like button if you are a Detroit Lions fan for over 22 years. There are people here who wore Lions jerseys in the 70s. It is great to see you here, my friend. So, let's get started. 2 weeks ago, our general manager Brad Holmes made it clear that the Lions were looking to add some depth and experience to the kicking room. Holmes said, and I quote, "We will still consider adding another kicker to the practice squad, a guy who has a little more experience." Well, guess what? It looks like they found their guy. According to reports from his agency, veteran kicker Greg Joseph is signing with the Lions practice squad. Let me give you a quick update on Joseph's journey. He entered the league in 2018 as an undrafted prospect, but quickly showed that he had the talent to stick in the NFL. His first big break came with the Cleveland Browns, where he had a solid season, making 17 of 20 field goals. He was especially decisive inside 40 yards, making 11 of 11 from that distance. But despite that strong showing, he lost his starting spot the following season to rookie Austin Seibert, a fifth-round pick. Fast forward, Joseph found a more stable role with the Minnesota Vikings, where he was their go-to kicker from 2021 to 2023. During his time with the Vikings, he made 83 of 101 field goals. That's about 82%, and nailed over 90% of his extra points. And hey, who can forget his long-range skills? Joseph's longest career field goal is a booming 61-yarder, a kick that could come in handy when games are tight. And every point matters. But let's not sugarcoat it. His long-distance kicking has been a bit inconsistent, hitting just 16 of 28 from 50 yards or more. Still, when you've been in the league for 6 years, that experience alone can be invaluable. So, what happened this year? Well, after Minnesota chose not to re-sign him, Joseph landed with the Green Bay Packers. He even made their initial 53-man roster. But that didn't last long. The Packers quickly moved on and eventually brought in rookie Braden Narveson, leaving Joseph on the free agent market. Now, some of you might be wondering, does this mean current Lions kicker Jake Bates is on the hot seat? Honestly, I don't think so, and here's why. The Lions have shown a lot of patience with Bates. Yes, he had his early struggles, but in week 1, he stepped up when it counted, going 2 for 2 on field goals and 2 for 2 on extra points. That's the kind of performance that builds trust between a player and the coaching staff. So no, I don't see Bates losing his job anytime soon, but bringing in a veteran like Greg Joseph? That's just smart business. Look, having a guy like Joseph around isn't just about competition, it's about guidance and providing a safety net. Bates is still a young player learning the ropes, and having a seasoned vet to lean on could be a huge benefit for his development. Plus, if anything happens, whether it's injury or inconsistency, the Lions will have an experienced kicker ready to go. It's the kind of move that speaks to the forward-thinking approach of Brad Holmes and head coach Dan Campbell. They're building this team not just to win now, but to be sustainable in the long run. Now, the Lions haven't made the signing official just yet, but it does make sense logistically. They had an open spot on the practice squad after defensive tackle Chris Smith was promoted to the active roster last weekend, before being cut just a day later. So, all the pieces are falling into place for Joseph to join the Lions. All right, One Pride, let me know what you think. Do you see Greg Joseph pushing Jake Bates for the starting role? Or is this just about adding some depth and mentorship to the kicker room? I want to hear your thoughts. Could this signing be the under-the-radar move that gives us the edge in close games this season? Drop a comment and let's talk about it. Today, we have a bizarre accusation that's making the rounds once again. The Detroit Lions, after their thrilling overtime win against the Los Angeles Rams, have been accused of cheating. Yes, you heard that right. Cheating. Apparently, some folks are claiming that the Lions intentionally painted the end zone and walls at Ford Field to match their blue and silver jerseys so that players could hide on the field. Sounds ridiculous, right? Well, let's break this down. During the Sunday Night Football opener, the Lions took home a 26-22 victory over the Rams, and the moment that set social media on fire was when Matthew Stafford, the former Lions QB, threw a critical interception to none other than Kirby Joseph. Now, Kirby Joseph has had Stafford's number before, so it's no surprise he was in the right spot at the right time. But some are saying that Joseph blended into the blue end zone so well that Stafford didn't see him. That's right. The complaint is that our defense is hiding because our jerseys supposedly blend into the blue walls, end zones, and even the sea of blue-clad fans. Really? Here's the thing. Nothing has changed at Ford Field. The end zones have been blue, the walls have been blue, and the jerseys have been blue. This isn't some secret strategy we're suddenly pulling out of nowhere. If you go back to last season, you'll see the same blue end zones and walls. In fact, I can show you images from the wild card game that look exactly like what we had this Sunday. There's Jonah Jackson, who isn't even on the team anymore, wearing the same blue jersey in front of the same blue end zone. So what's the big deal? What's even more laughable is that this theory completely ignores the offensive side of the game. If our jerseys blend into the background so well that Stafford couldn't see Joseph, how would Jared Goff be able to find our receivers? It doesn't make sense. If blending in were such a huge advantage, Goff wouldn't have any idea where his targets were, right? He'd just be throwing the ball blindly and hoping for the best. Lions fans, this feels like a classic case of sour grapes. When you're winning and doing it well, people will find any excuse to tear you down. Just like when the Cowboys accused us of cheating last season, saying we were manipulating the game with clever plays and smart use of the rules. It's not cheating, it's called gamesmanship, using every advantage within the rules to win. That's football. Even Jared Goff weighed in on this during an interview with 97.1 The Ticket, and he had a great take. He said, "If it works, we'll take it." Absolutely. But he also made it clear that nothing's changed. The Lions are just playing better football. Our defense is strong, our offense is clicking, and this team is something special. We've been underdogs for so long that now that we're winning, the rest of the league doesn't know how to handle it. So here's the bottom line. We're not cheating. The jerseys haven't changed, the end zone hasn't changed, and our commitment to winning hasn't changed. What has changed? We're now a damn good football team, and that's what's really bothering people. So to everyone out there accusing the Lions of foul play, stop crying. Show up on Sunday, play your best football, and if you can't beat us, don't blame the color of our jerseys. Lions fans, what do you think? Are these accusations just nonsense? Or is there any part of this conspiracy that makes sense to you? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Lions fans, it's deja vu all over again. After an intense overtime victory against the Los Angeles Rams, our Detroit Lions now face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Another playoff rematch from 2023. This Bucs team might be banged up, but let's not kid ourselves. They're still a real threat. While we celebrated that Sunday Night Football thriller, Tampa Bay kicked off their season with a dominant 37-20 win over the Washington Commanders. And trust me, Baker Mayfield is someone our secondary needs to pay attention to. He threw for 4 touchdowns. The Bucs are hungry to repeat last year's division win, but they're eyeing a different outcome in January. This Sunday, Ford Field is the stage for a clash of undefeated teams. Sadly, one of them will walk away with their first loss. We'll break down what to expect from the Bucs in our Week 2 scouting report for the 2024 season. But I want to hear from you. What's your prediction for this big game? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's go Lions!